Hey YouTube, what's up? So today I'm going to teach you how to make a stencil cap with a standard cap that would come on top of a can of spray paint. So what a stencil cap essentially does, it makes a very thin line by creating a little hole for the can to go through, and a stencil cap is really good for like really small tags and stuff. I definitely wouldn't suggest it for making stencils, but it's essentially a stencil for the hole. So you're going to want to have a cap of some sort. Really, any one works. This one's a little bit taller than this. It doesn't really matter as long as it can fit onto the can you want to use. So you just want to make sure that it can fit on nice and snug. And then you're also going to want scissors or an X-Acto knife, both of which work. You can also use a nail and a hammer, but I'll get to that in a second. So those are just the materials you're going to want to have. I like to take a screwdriver to start and kind of snap the edges of this. As you can see, it creates a pretty good circle around where you want it. So I just created a pretty good circle by doing 2 quick hits right next to the little groove. Right here you can see there's just a little groove, and you go right next to it and it comes off pretty easily. So the next part is probably the hardest part, is you're going to have to get this part totally out. So you can start with another hit. You have to be careful because it's not as sturdy now. So just drive through it. You can do it a couple times to really break it away. And then you're going to have to take just these pieces off. I find you can snap them. You can use your scissors or X-Acto knife if you can't quite get them off. And you can just cut away from the edges. X-Acto knife is the best option for this process, but you can do it with scissors and just breaking away, like I said. Alright, so as you can see, I've got a pretty good circle around here. Obviously, it's not too clean. You can go back in and chip those out, but it's not that big of a deal at the moment. So, now that you have this, you have to choose which side you want the face to be. It really doesn't matter at all. So once you've picked the side, you're going to either want to poke a hole in it with whatever you chose. You can do it with a nail, although it is a little bit harder and you might bend, but it will give you a perfect circle. So what I like to do is I like to just pick the center. A good technique to do it is actually put it on your can, and right now you can't. It's not primed, it's not totally finished, but you can just put a little circle and get an idea where it'll spray, and then try and find the center of that. Alright, so once you have your spray in there, you're going to want to either start with your hole on the center of where the hole or the spray was actually. So you're just going to want to spin your X-Acto knife. You can just keep spinning to the size you want. I would suggest going a little bit bigger than you actually think, because it will it'll definitely help in the long run. Alright, so I got a fairly even hole over here. It's obviously not perfect. I can come back and fix that in a later. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make 2 cuts exactly opposite, so you'll have somewhere you can put your finger down. And then once you have those cuts with your scissors, you can come in and kind of create a little slit with your X-Acto knife, and then try and get this on camera, and then kind of just work around, cutting slowly down until you get to the next slit, and then it'll be pretty much done. So once you have that piece totally out, you can take a file or whatever and file it down, make it all nice and smooth. It really doesn't make a huge difference. You know, you can do the same with your circle. You can try and get it as even as possible, but then you just essentially put it on top of your can. Make sure the can is, or like the hole is lined up with the actual cap. And you're going to want to wear gloves when you do this, just because all the spray paint that comes out will not go through. So try to use the thinnest cap as you can to minimize that. And I'll do a little test for you guys right now. So this is using the stencil, and now this is using the actual cap. So you can see it's definitely about half as thick when you use the stencil, and you can even get smaller, although there will be more splatter. So you can get some nice clean lines. I wouldn't really suggest it for doing outlines on say a piece or something. But definitely works for whatever little project you want to do. So that's the tutorial on how to make a stencil cap, brought to you by Sive. Peace.